Hello and a very, very good evening to you from Accra. Could be morning or afternoon from whichever part of the world that you are. A blessed evening to you. And we are trusting that God's abundant grace will be on all of us. We want to welcome you to the Weightier Matters. Today we have a full package for you. And so I would encourage you to just invite a friend, share the link, encourage somebody to come on board right now as we discuss things that are of grave concern, things that are weightier matters, that are important to the heart of God. So our friends, family, friends, loved ones, just call another family, call another friend, call another loved one. What we are about to discuss today is very, very critical, very important. And I have termed it the ambush. We are contending with ambush. We want to learn lessons from our experiences. If this is the first time of joining the Weightier Matters episode or sessions, we try to look at real life situations, not just theory, but practical things we have gone through and the lessons thereof. Today, I'm looking at these lessons. You know, I've heard people say that this is one side of the story. They read the book, somebody connected me and they felt that this is one side of the story. It is interesting how people feel is one side. That's okay, it's their opinion, I respect that. But isn't it curious and interesting that when the leadership write a circular to the whole world and state that this minister or that minister has done what we call it, gross misconduct, ministerial indiscretion, poor interpersonal relations. When these things are written out there, it looks like we take it in. Nobody even, it occurs to no one that is one side of the story. And so, well, I just want to also give you the other side of the story. We hear other people's stories, and it's just fair that we give you the opportunity to weigh the various sides of the coin, and you can make an objective, independent judgment or reasoning behind some of these things, and you are able to decipher what you think could be helpful. And the lessons we learn are very, very important. I was there one day when an apostle, a very senior person for that matter, called me and said, there's been conversation somewhere, and put your ass together because so and so are going to come at you using the door of conflict of interest, because you brought your brother in to do the work. So make sure that you put your everything in shape. Then he called again, and he was so worried. And say, these people, that just quoting the person, so this is not just right. And he said they will come at you with a conflict of interest. So try and make sure that everything is all right. Around that time, I received a notification that auditors are coming to Bolga area. Today we are looking at how we deal with issues and to avoid ambushes. So just follow me. Now, I was given 2 days notice that auditors were coming to audit the whole Bolga area. But of course, I had already had an idea what is going to happen. They came. I made all the district pastors get themselves ready in readiness. They came just touch 1 or 2 places and well, they did what they really came out to do. Spent about 2 weeks at the area office. Well, they are doing their work. I don't have any problem with that. 2 days notice. I watched such a short notice. At the time, I was on leave. But whether it's 1 day notice or 30 minutes notice, once you've not done anything wrong, you don't have a problem. So that was really not an issue, even though it raises some bit of question. But that is just by the way. Now, the auditors came. Now, understand that this session, I'm not going to give you the details of some issues. Today, I'm looking at procedures. I'm looking at how we deal with when there are charges, allegations, how we deal with those things. So those are the things I'll be focusing on. So I may be repeating some of the issues, but the focus is on the processes and the procedures and the lessons that we can learn from it. So after the time they sat with us, they raised some questions and we were supposed to respond. I quickly want to read the issues that they needed clarification from me as an area head. It's important you listen to this because of the news out there. Now, these are the issues. They say issues for clarification, area head. The first point, I think there were about 3 or 4 points. First point, audit found that an amount of 14,354 being part of AIDF was used to renovate the area mission house. Did you please seek permission from the headquarters before the usage? So the first question was on an AIDF that was used for the renovation of the area mission house. For the renovation of the area mission house. And the question was whether I sought permission or not. If you read my book Struck Twice, you will see the full response that was given. The second point that needed my response was during your telephone conversation with the audit team, you mentioned that you introduced the new contractor to the area estate. Point number 1, did you please have a personal relationship with the new contractor? Once this question started coming in, then I just remembered what that senior person told me. And I have no doubt to doubt him because I know the person I'm dealing with. Did you please have any personal relationship with the new contractor? If yes, did you disclose your relationship with the contractor to both the area executive and estate committees? If yes, at what point in time did you disclose? Before or after the contract was given? If no, why did you fail to disclose such crucial information before granting the contract? Again, I responded to it. The third point, now please follow me carefully because I will be connecting this to a few things out there. The third question. So, question number 1, you used some money for renovation of area mission house. Did you seek permission? Number 2, during your telephone conversation with the audit team, you said you introduced the contractor. Did you have a personal relationship with him? If you did you disclose? If you disclose, what time? Those were the issues. If no, why didn't you? The third question was, did you receive a document requesting your approval of 300,000 to be paid to the contractor as mobilization from the estate committee before it was paid? That is the third question. Did you receive any document before payment was made? Then the next question is, did you receive certified valuation document before 2 payments totaling 314,863 was made to Ace Solutions and Services, the new contractor? Did you receive valuation certificate, certified valuation document before 2 payments were made? Yes, that too, I responded. So, as far as my being an area head or the area head of the Bolga area, the 8 things that were directly linked to me that they wanted explanation. They put them in question format and I responded. These were the only issues the auditors raised with me. I hope you are following me. These were the only issues. Now, after they had raised the issues, I responded. The ones that there were other questions that were given to us as area estate, as executive, and all those things were responded to. So my normal understanding was that after they have responded to all these questions, they were going to send us their findings so that we will respond. I never heard from them again. The next time I got a notification was I was invited to the National Audit Committee review. I went there without knowing what the issues were. I was just asked to come there with some specified personalities. I got there and there were others on board, but that's fine. That's fine. And again, not knowing what the issues were, the same questions and answer sessions, similar to the issues that were raised by the auditors when they came to Bolga area, we responded to the questions and answers to the best of our ability. Now, that session was a bit dramatic, was a bit shocking. Some of the things that came out of that meeting, I recall one, my former area deacon, the area deacon who was there when I was there. I'm saying this and I'm mentioning his name because I will use it to emphasize a point. The area deacon was so shocked with some of the things people were saying that at the point he looked into one pastor and said, "Pastor, why are you lying like this? Why are you doing this?" And he busted into tears, wept bitterly. Wept. He couldn't believe that people would do that. And he asked them at the meeting, I'm mentioning his name, you can ask him. Now I'm saying this to let you know that it is not every member of this church. It is not every officer. It is not every pastor. It is not every apostle. It is not every leader who lacks integrity. There are people who stand for what is right and they are in their majority. You may only have one or two people who may be pursuing their own agenda. But many people will stand for what is right, will confront what they think is wrong. And I'm giving you an example of an elder who stood his ground and questioned people and couldn't believe and just busted into tears. Now, that period was very emotional. But in spite of all that, we respond as much as we can. And then again, after that meeting, I never heard anything. I never received any report. The next call was to an invitation to meet the executive council. I was invited with the executive council, this time with my wife and with the area estate. My wife, throughout all these processes, my wife never came in, nobody questioned my wife. So why this time my wife is being brought? But those of you who know Church of Pentecost, immediately they say, come with your wife. It means a decision has already been taken. Let's be frank with it. Let's be honest with it. Once they say, come with your wife, it means a decision has been taken and they're going to inform you. So the next invitation or call I received was to come and meet the executive council. This time, come with your wife. So I knew, having been in this church, I knew what it meant. Well, we went again, not knowing what was going to be discussed, what we were going to be questioned about. Immediately I got there and we sat, I, executive council, and a few executive committee members of my area and a few other people who were there. Then the chairman said, Apostle, all the questions will be directed at you. If there's the need to engage anybody, fine, that will be done. So that was the initial direction that was given to me. So the questions started flowing. Did you sign a contract? Are you a director? All those questions similar to from the auditors through the national, through the executive council. Now, after asking all the questions, we were asked to and we answering them to the best of our ability, we were asked to then leave. Then we were called back. And when we were called back, the General Secretary stood and read the charges against me that, as I've already told some of you, you have changed minutes, and changing of minutes is tantamount to dishonesty and per the Constitution. I'm repeating this because some of you are new, and also in reference to what we are discussing. And because per the Constitution, you are supposed to be dismissed for changing minutes. That's dishonesty. But because you have been demoted before, we are going to demote you. You've caused financial loss to the church, without giving me an opportunity to respond to the charges. Remember, I said when I got there, one, I didn't know why I was being asked. Asked to come. I didn't know what it was. When I got there, it was more of questions. Did you do this? Yes or no? The ones I did, yes, I did. The one I didn't do, I didn't do. The reasons you did, we just questioned, more of Q&A. I was not invited to say, these are the charges against you. No. I was asked questions. Then after the question and answer session, we were asked to leave. Now, when we came back, as I said, the General Secretary read the charges. You read my book, you get the charges. I don't have all the charges of her because it was read. Causing financial loss, didn't manage the area well, all those things. And then after that, just after reading the charge, they read the judgment. And because, as I've already explained, because of changing minutes and all those things, you are supposed to be dismissed, but you have been demoted to go and learn. The usual phrase, to go and learn. Jesus is Lord. Now, when they read that charge, did not give me the option to respond. Even the minutes, as I told you last week, that even the minutes, they just said, did you change minutes? I said, which minutes? They went to a pastor. Yes, the pastor said, if you look at this minute, as I sit here, I don't know what minute was changed, but I will deal with the minutes issue at a very good time. So today I'm just looking at the procedures, the steps that were taken. Why would the audit committee at the area level not give me their report? I never saw their report until I was dismissed and I requested for it. Why wouldn't they give it to me? The National Audit Committee, I never saw their report until I was dismissed. Why would they not want me to see? Why would they give me 2 days? Why all these things? When I know that the only questions raised for me was these 4 that I've read. I go to the Executive Council, you ask me questions, you read charges, you don't allow me to respond to the charges, you pass on judgment. And knowing that I had not done some of the things they are saying I have done, I have not changed minutes, I have not caused financial loss, I will deal with all those into details, but I knew that I have not done that. So I couldn't just accept that I should be demoted. So and what hurt me or worried me the most was when the elders and the officers who have worked their heart out, goodness me, the architect, for instance, had designed the hospital, that beautiful facility, without charging a peso. He used his own money, fuel in and out, charging nothing from the church. The estate chairman and a QS spent his time. This area deacon did all that they could. And I felt that no, it was not fair to say that they should be removed. So I pleaded for them because I just felt that they may not be able to speak for themselves, knowing the system. So I pleaded with them. But to me, I felt that this is so unfair. Because you are demoting me on the basis of something I knew I have not done. And even the ones that I have done, which I will deal with later on, I knew that if for anything were done in the interest of the church. Like the issue about conflict of interest, as I've said, I will deal with it properly. I knew and I know that the decisions I took were for the interest of the church. And I'll give you evidence. It's not just theory. But that is not the purpose. The question is, why was I not given any of the reports? Why was I charged and not allowed to respond to the charges? But you read charges and immediately follow it up with judgment. Not even the people of the world will do that. I can't just, somebody who's, I can't think far. I just don't know why. Even police, I don't know the legal system very well, but when they arrest you or something like that, or they invite you to the police station, when you go there, they will, is it caution something? They will let you know why they've invited you. You raise the issues. After that, they will charge you. The police officers and lawyers, maybe you can tell me whether I'm wrong. They will charge you. And when they charge you, they will give you time to respond to the charges. They will take you to court. At court, you have the opportunity to defend the charges against you. They don't just read charges and after that they send you to prison. Or they dismiss you. No, they give you an opportunity. Now that they have formally charged you, they've asked you questions. I believe that when they take you to the police station, they'll ask questions. Did you do this? Have you done blah, blah? I don't know. I've never been there. So, and after the questions, they will then charge you. So if I come before you as a whole executive council, you ask me questions here and there. And if you have charges, it's only nice to read the charges to me and ask for my response. But you don't read charges and then pass judgment. It's so wrong. It is just not right. And knowing very well that it was not fair, I said I cannot accept the demotion. And I was very firm on that. I was very strong. Because I felt that it was not just right. It was not fair. I believe that people would have wished that, as I pleaded, maybe once they pass judgment, whether you are right or not, you typical COP, they will say, you lie down, beg, I beg you, forgive me. Why should I do that when I have not done it? Why? What do we gain by making people just always bowing and begging? Why? Why don't we allow people to be honest to the truth? If there's an allegation against them, why can't you allow them to defend themselves? Why can't there even be an opportunity for those who are alleging things against you? Give you an opportunity to question them. I recall on one occasion, the former area deacon was accusing the current area deacon. And the current area deacon defended himself and he was shut down. That you look at how you are. What word was even used? You are you are fighting or something. And so they had to stop them. In other words, you can't defend yourself. Is that how Christ taught us? That people are allowed to allege. I don't want to use the word to lie against you. And whether they lie or they allege or they say untruth or even there is an explanation to the truth or even when they say the truth, you cannot defend yourself. Is that how Christ taught us? Is that the justice that we are looking at? So I want to suggest that people should be given an opportunity to look at this thing. Now, after that, after I said I cannot accept it, then I also said that I would request for a long leave so that God takes up my matter. I recall when Paul was in a situation, he said, I appeal to Caesar. And people say, if you appeal to Caesar you go. So I even felt that, look, for somebody whom you yourself have laid hands and ordained as an apostle, to stand before you and say, I want you to give me long leaves until God takes up my matter. I've handed my matter over to God. Well, I'm not the leadership, so maybe it's a different matter. But I thought that maybe you would say, no, Kwesi, or however you want to call me, we cannot give you long leave. We are stand by our decision to demote you. Unfortunately, we can't give you long leave. If you want God to take up your matter, fine, but we can't give you. Or at least even looking at the situation, looking at the stress of the times. I mean, somebody stands there, he's not done something, he's been accused, he's not defended himself. You could have said, now, Kwesi, take your time, go and reflect upon it and come back to us, or whatever. But the response rather is that that means you are determining your own decision. Wow. Your own punishment. Wow, really? And then what is even what is even interesting is that when you were speaking, you pointed your finger at the chairman. Oh, Ebe. I pointed my finger at the chairman. Well, I'm sorry if I pointed my finger, but honestly, I don't even know. And if I pointed, then possibly it was normal gesticulations. How can I be talking? And I say that I cannot accept. And I say, Chairman, I cannot accept. How? Or I give my matter to God. How can I be pointing at Chairman? So maybe it was gesticulations. I cannot accept, possibly. I accept that I was firm on that, and I was firm, and I still stand by it. That I could not accept because that was so unfair. It was so unfair. I had not done it. But, well, they are in authority. They chose to read that to me. That having pointed, so 3 reasons why they now changed from demotion to dismissal. After I said I cannot accept, after they said I pointed my finger to the chairman, and that I said I will request for leave so that God takes up my matter, that meant that was defined as treating the executive with contempt. Really? So if you disagree when you know it's not true, you must just roll down and beg. And if you stand your grounds, that is meant to be treating the executive with contempt. So once the executive speak, it's final. You cannot share a different opinion. You cannot disagree. Is that what Christ taught us? And if somebody appeals for God's intervention, well, you can say that you do not agree with me, but nobody was under obligation to accept my request. I only made a request that give me long leave. If you say no, you won't give me long leave. Just say no, we can't give you long leave. Go and serve your demotion. Then lead me to take the decision whether I'll go or not. I made a request, and then you say because I've made a request, I'm now determining my own judgment. And then I pointed my finger. And then, if it was even verbal, I would have had no problem with it. But it was even written. Written. And when at the time it was written, now it has become you pointed your left finger at the chairman. With all due respect, I don't think I would have intentionally pointed my left finger. And even if I did, with all due respect, even if I pointed my finger at the chairman, does that warrant a dismissal? If I requested for long leave for God to take up my matter, does that warrant a dismissal? And if I said I cannot accept because in all good conscience I have not done what I've been told to do, and even if I did some of the things, I did it for the good of the church and with all good conscience, because I said this, the executive then says, go, come back. When I am brought back, they now say that because of these 3 things, we have dismissed you. Power. Is that what Christ taught us? I want to state respectfully that I completely disagree with the methodology that was used. It is not right. It is not right to audit somebody without giving the person a copy of the audit to respond. National level. Until I was dismissed and I requested my lawyers to request for documents. It was after the dismissal that I got to even know what the auditors have written. It was there I got to know that the auditors said that I had changed minutes. Is it fair? Auditors, you were with me at Bolga. Somebody has alleged I changed minutes. You don't ask me about it. You ambush me at the executive level. Is that Christianity? Is that right? You said I've caused financial loss to the church. You don't ask me about it. You ambush me at the executive level. Who does that? I've told you what the auditors asked me. The 4 areas. Was there anything about minutes? Was there anything about causing financial loss? Was there anything about conflict of interest? Anyway, granted that I brought my brother, I brought a company, I was a director, all those things. I will deal with them. Should the question be, it doesn't matter whether they came to help, whether they did things for the good of the church, but rather once it is your brother, your destiny, to hell with you. Even if these were people who built mission house for free, That one, there was no problem. I'll deal with that later on. But I just want you to know the processes. Was it fair? Was it right? I pray that those of us who will find ourselves in leadership position, those of us who find ourselves in position of judgment, let us be fair. Let us do the right thing. You see, these things, if it was maybe a rebuke or some punishment, that's fine. But when you want to take decisions that affects people's destiny, Church of Pentecost is not like other churches. When you call a pastor, the wife would have to stop whatever she's doing and follow the man. The children will have to move. They go to Bolaga, the children will have to move. If your wife is a lawyer and there is no court in Bolga, there's no court in whatever, your wife will have to stop the work and go with you. If she's the doctor and there's no hospital. The only thing, even when your wife is working a place outside of your duty station, people are not happy about it. So when you are taking a decision about a pastor, you're not just dealing with him. You are dealing with the wife. You are dealing with the children. You are dealing with hundreds and thousands of people who look unto him. So for decisions like demotion, decisions like dismissal, they should not be ambushed. If we have time for people to ask to make allegations, then please, I beg us by the mercies of God, let us have time for people to also defend themselves. If after all the defense, even the people of the world give you time, I'm not saying that we should leave an unlimited defense, but at least let him know the report against him. Give him time to respond in writing. Let the person know ahead of time that these are the charges against you. The executive council is inviting you to a meeting, and there's this issue we want. What do we lose? Well, maybe I'm not the leader, so maybe that is good to ambush. But I disagree respectfully. I disagree. I think that is nice to let the person know. After all, we want the truth. Isn't it? We want the truth. Even the people of the world, I don't know, lawyers can help me. I'm told that even in the court, the issue that you want to charge the person or your evidence, you must give to the accused. All the evidence you have against the accused, you must give it to them to prepare. If the people of the world have that patience for people, because it's better, they say, to free a criminal than to imprison an innocent person. So that is that for this evening. I just want us to learn lessons from these things, and when we are in positions of leadership, let's not ambush people. It's not Christian. It's not Christ-like. It's not right. It doesn't matter who we are, whether we are at the local level, national level, international level. Let us be just. The weightier matters of the Christian faith is justice. So, that is that for today. I just think that we should be fair to each other. If you have any questions, I would want to listen to you. Sit down. COP. How many people have the? All right. So there are a few questions here there, but if you have any question, you can ask. And I'm saying these things. I've mentioned some of them, the names in my book. I think that the reason why I'm saying some of these things, you see, once the news come out there, so globally, everybody think that you've had all the opportunities. I remember somebody said that, how can you alone? But I've mentioned names. You can ask anybody on these committees. You can ask the auditors whether they ever gave me their report. You can ask them. Apart from the questions and answers they asked me, which I've told you and I responded. Ask whether before I went to the executive council, you can ask any of them, whether I knew what it was, and whether, as I have said before you, I'm lying, that after the question and answers, they read the charges and gave me an opportunity to respond. You read charge, you pass judgment. And I should, it's not right, okay? It's not. So, if you have any question, let me hear you. But I want us to be Christians. I want us to have an open heart. I want us to be merciful and gracious. And we are taking decisions that affect people's life. Some of us, by the grace of God, we've gone through it. We are even stronger, mightier, but not everybody. And I want people to understand that it's not about defense. I'm not defending myself. I've already been dismissed. I've already been sacked. I've been bulldozed. I'm not it's not defending so that anybody will call me back. But I think that it should not be repeated. May I be that sacrifice that will bring that transformation, that will let people have the hope that, look, if anything happens, I'll get the best of judgment. I recall one pastor came to buy me. I don't know why the hurry. Came to my house and he was telling me something happened and within 2 weeks he's been dismissed. Hey, I say more. May God have mercy on us. If you have any question, if you have any comment, just feel free to share your questions, share your comments. We are all looking at the good of the church. As I've told you, there are thousands, there are hundreds, there are lots of pastors, elders, officers who stand for fairness, who stand for the truth. So nobody should paint the whole church black. No, it's one or two people. And those people must be called out. And those people who stand, like I've done for that elder, should be commended. People who stand for the truth should be commended so that people are encouraged to stand for the truth. One person said something, and I'm happy about that. He said, thank you for sharing your story. And that for the first time in my life, I came into the church. This is the first time I've heard an apostle stand on the apostolization and say that those of you who record your pastors and your destiny should stop. At least I've spoken about the church policy against recording. So now people are bold to say that. I pray that people would find solace in being patient and in doing the right thing. Something that when you take a decision, you have a chest out to say, I've done what is right. And this is our motivation. It is not because we want any favor. So God bless you, and let us all learn and give people the chance. We'll come your way again next week. Unless you have a question for me. Let me see if there's any question. Okay, somebody is asking, operationally, what will you have called long live? Well, you see, that's a very beautiful question. Sometimes in the spell of the moment, you would want some breather. You see, you want some breather to be able to reflect. So I didn't say indefinite. I called for long. So the executive could have decided, okay, we'll give you 1 month. Or we won't allow. But I just thought that I needed time to cool heads off. You see, because I felt that it was not fair. So that is why I put in that request that give me long leave. Maybe I shouldn't have used long leave. I should have used a short leave or whatever. But I needed time. And as I said, it was a request. It was a request. So maybe, you see, these are good questions. Maybe they could have asked, okay, so if you say long leave, how many months, how many weeks? That is brotherly conversation. That is what brothers do. That is what family do. Okay, Kwesi, you are requesting for long leave. What do you mean? What do you mean? What is the issue about long leave? What are you implying? Then it's a conversation. Then you know that it is brothers speaking, but not, I don't know how to describe it. This is just not right. This is just not right. This is just not right. But I pray that God will. So my brother, that's a very good question. That is what I said, and I won't lie. That's what I said. I said, give me long leave for God until God takes up my matter. So I believe that will even strike somebody to say, my friend, this guy is bringing God, let's engage him more. Let's engage him more. Or let's give him time to reflect. But if we are not patient with ourselves, then only God have mercy. Only God. So anybody with another question? Okay, that is, what do you mean by long leave? Okay, it looks like people are interested in that. That is what I said. I said that is at the time, that's what I said. Maybe if there was time for conversation, but I didn't know that requesting for long leave meant my dismissal. Maybe if I knew that requesting for long leave would mean that we will dismiss you, possibly. We learn lessons, okay? We all learn lessons, and we learn lessons from that. But we should be Christians, we should be brothers, we should be friends, okay? Any other question for me? Let me see if you have a question. Let me have it. All right, those on you. Let me see if I have a question on the YouTube. I want to deal with your questions so that because it's a conversation, it's not just a preaching, it's a conversation. So let me hear you out operationally. I think I'm not having. All right. So you can let the questions flow. Next week we'll respond to them. Okay, if you listen to it later. But hey, I'm not claiming perfection. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I'm just saying that we should give people each other time. Demoting people, dismissing people is a serious matter, and so we should be sure, abundantly sure that we are taking the best of decisions. We should not rush. You don't recharge and immediately pass. It's not right. It's not right, and respectfully, it's wrong. We should change that. All right, God willing, we'll come your way again next week with another episode of Struck Twice, Unbeatable Team, and ultimately the weightier matters. Read my book, and you can throw the questions to me ahead of time so that I can respond to them. Where I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. Just as I told you this one, the spell of the moment, I say give me long leave. We could have a conversation on it. Throw your questions to me and I'll respond to them. So God bless you for giving us your time. But it's not only them. You too, when you are taking decision on people, please be patient. Why? Whether your children, your family, let's give people the opportunity to defend themselves. If somebody alleges or accuses them, the people must be able to cross-examine them, question them. People should not just be allowed to know that this place, when I charge, I'll throw an allegation against a pastor, he will not be able to defend himself. So they just throw it out there. And then pastors can't defend, apostles can't defend, and so people can't defend. No. Let people have the opportunity to defend. After all, we are not in a rush, in a hurry to go anywhere. When they defend and you think it's still not, and Tasum is still not right, we can pass our judgment. That is how I pass my judgment in concluding today's session. God bless you. May the Lord show mercy. May the Lord shine on you. May grace come upon you. May you have favor upon favor. And may God help us build better churches. God bless you. Bye.